Two new reports are giving some insight into the effects of global warming, and as you can imagine, the news isn't good. The growing threat could cause sea levels to rise, flooding major cities across the globe. It's a story we first told you about yesterday morning, but we wanted to look a little deeper to see what that would mean for folks here in Connecticut. News 8's Brian Spyros is live in West Haven this morning with a look at all of that. Good morning, Brian.
Well, good morning, Marisol. These reports are out ahead of a United Nations meeting that is set to take place the end of this month in France on this very topic. And the goal is to prevent sea level rise along many coastal areas around the world. And obviously with something like that, if something like that happened here in Connecticut, it would be detrimental because of our shoreline. Now, the main issue here are these carbon emissions. There's a great deal of science behind it all. But basically what's happening is it's warming up the atmosphere and causing ice to melt. That in turn causes sea levels to rise, which they are already doing. Now, this is bad news considering that half of the world's population lives along coastal areas. If sea levels rose by several feet, it would force hundreds of millions of people to abandon their homes and move further inland to already populated areas. And that would be the case here in our state, from Greenwich all the way to Stonington. I spoke with Professor Tate at Southern Connecticut State University, and he gave some insight into all of this.
This is something that we have to live with. It's something that we have to plan for. But the problem is that people use that uncertainty to say, well, since we don't know, let's not get all excited about it and not do anything about it. Let's wait and see.
Now, the predictions are right now that if we don't do anything about these carbon emissions, sea levels would rise by several feet by the start of the next century. Professor Tate says we are quickly reaching a tipping point. We need to reduce the amount of carbon emissions that are going into the atmosphere, and that is going to be the focus of that United Nations meeting, again scheduled to start on November 30th in France. We are reporting live this morning from West Haven. I'm Brian Spyros. Keith, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
Brian, thank you.